Okay, everybody, we're going to get started here in just a moment for your 19 at noon update. Give me 1 second. Okay. So yes, on this Monday here on 19 at noon, we obviously have a lot to talk about. It's a big day here in the city. If you've been watching this morning, we've been talking about the game throughout the morning. Of course, Monday Night Football, always a big deal, but especially when it's in your city. So the weather going to play an important role in today for those that may be going down to the banks for some pregame festivities, hanging out there, tailgating, whatever it may be. So let's get into what that forecast is going to feature. Of course, cloudy skies across much of the region right now. We saw some blue skies earlier today, but I think those clouds are going to kind of continue to be on the increase throughout the day today. And that's going to lead to cooler weather too. You know, the past several days we've been pretty warm, especially Saturday. We made it to 94 degrees. So it's been pretty warm around the tri-state. And finally feeling more like fall. You know, today is the first full day of fall. Temperatures are still expected to be warmer than normal, but definitely getting down out of those 90s, that's for sure. So here's a look at current radar. And what we're seeing here is this cluster of thunderstorms near the Evansville area. Lots of lightning actually showing up in those storms that you can see here, and it's all headed to the northeast. Now, we will see those storm chances move their way into the tri-state throughout the day today, and it could impact some of those game day events, some of those game day festivities, especially early on. And so scattered showers and storms will be possible throughout the day today. So prepare for that. Prepare for that chance for those storms to impact those outdoor activities. I don't think it's going to be like what you're seeing in Evansville right now. I don't think it's going to be that organized. I don't think it's going to bring us that much rain, but of course we do need the rain at this point. I know it sounds like a broken record, but yeah, we have those drought conditions across much of the region. Everybody in some sort of drought, whether it's abnormally dry all the way up to extreme and exceptional drought there in parts of, well, really northern Warren, Clinton, and a large portion of Highland County is included in that worst drought, or at least leaning toward the worst drought and extreme and exceptional. Many of us in a severe or moderate drought. Either way, we need the rain, no doubt about that. So seems like when we get the rain, it's all very light, doesn't really stick around for very long, and doesn't make enough of an impact on the drought conditions. So we do have a tropical system that's likely to become named here in the next day or so, and that actually could bring us some rain by the weekend. So that would be our next potential drought buster, if you will. Let's actually see if we can track that. Let me see where I have this. All right, let's dive in. Not expecting severe storms, although tomorrow we do have a marginal threat for severe weather. All right, hold on, let me change this to... And then we'll change tropical track. Okay. I think I just need to change the camera view here. So there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to show you. Okay. So right now, this is potential tropical cyclone 9. Let me see. So I think this would be Isaac. I can't remember if Helene ever got named. So it's Helene or Isaac. Instead of wasting time, I'll look this up later. But yes, okay, so this storm does have the potential to bring us some much needed rain. So right now, again, it's just a potential tropical cyclone, could become a tropical storm or a tropical depression probably as early as tomorrow. And then here's its track. And let me, hold on 1 second. Okay. So right now, sustained winds at 30 miles per hour, so it has to get up to 45 miles per hour to be a named storm. So, or to be a tropical storm, it has to be 39 miles per hour. So could become a tropical depression either later today or sometime tomorrow. So then it continues to move through the Gulf. You see it here, moves very close to Cancun as a Category 1 storm, then continues to move into the Gulf as a Category 2 storm, kind of between Florida. Obviously, parts of Alabama could have an impact as well, but Florida taking the brunt of this storm, and then into the Carolinas as well. So this is, again, the current track of this potential tropical cyclone. And then it does bring us the potential. Now, right now, kind of the center of low is to our west, but this would be over the weekend. Still, even being that close, it could bring us the potential for some much needed rain. So that's a good thing right there. Let me see, I guess I didn't update the banner. Okay, so why did it do that? Okay. We will continue to watch that for sure, because that would be a good thing for us anyways. Could bring us some much needed rain. We'll look at that. Actually, we will look at that, like as far as what it looks like rain wise here as well. But let's get into what's happening outside right now. Okay. So temperatures right now in this, well, 60s, 70s, and 80s. We got a little bit of everything right now on the temperature map. 64 in Richmond, 75 in Harrison, 80 at Lunken, 79 in Batavia and CVG, 70 degrees in Wilmington. Still a little humid. You know, that dew point at 64 degrees, it's noticeable. There is a bit of a heat index. The current temperature 79, feels like 81. I noticed Jordan earlier was talking about this, that, you know, it's hard to tell the difference between the track and the grass, especially if you look off in the distance toward that field. Yeah, it's dry everywhere. And unfortunately, while some folks saw thunderstorms yesterday, even severe thunderstorms, many of us saw little to nothing, maybe a few drops of rain at best. So not everybody is going to see a drought buster when we just have these scattered storms. We need really that tropical storm. We need a steady rain overnight for several nights in a row, really, for that to happen, for it to really soak into the ground. Temperatures today will be in the low 80s. Again, not budging very far from where they are right now just because of the cloud cover. Here's your official game day forecast. Temperatures will be in the 80s for tailgating, 70s at kickoff, and dropping into the 60s by halftime. Really pretty pleasant conditions, all things considered, for that game. Okay, here's your hourly forecast. We don't really see any of that rain moving out of Evansville until this evening, 5, 6, 7 p.m. It really starts to dissipate as it moves closer toward us, so not a major impact. And then spotty showers and thunderstorms possible overnight into very early tomorrow morning. And then we just deal with scattered showers, possibly a few thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. I mentioned there's a marginal threat for severe storms across parts of our area tomorrow. That's because any of these storms tomorrow afternoon could be on the strong side. I completely forgot to. Okay. Yeah, some of those storms could be on the strong side across parts of the area as well. That continues to move east throughout Tuesday evening. And then Wednesday, it's even more spotty. While there is still a chance for storms on Wednesday, it just doesn't look plentiful. And then on Thursday, you're looking at even lesser chances for rain. So let's look ahead to that 7-day forecast. Yeah, just enough to make spots on your car. I actually washed my car at home over the weekend. And yeah, I didn't dry it. So yeah, I just have like all these spots. It looks like it's dirty, but it's not. And that's exactly what we're going to deal with, unfortunately. All right, hold on one second. As we look at this 7-day forecast, which definitely is more like fall. Hold on one second. I just need to. So FC Cincinnati is actually in town. Is this a wizarded thing? So let's pop that up. There you go. Okay. So Temperatures in the low 80s today, 70s tomorrow and Wednesday. And then we stay still close to normal, although a tad bit warmer than normal through the 7-day forecast. Even a chance for evening showers Friday, isolated rain chances Saturday and Sunday. Bengals Sunday are in Carolina to face the Panthers. That is on Fox 19 now, but it is an away game. And FC Cincinnati in town on Saturday. Of course, the Reds are done here at Great American Ballpark for the season. They're away this week, but so they're not on the 7-day forecast. So let's look. So in this weekend, the reason why they're isolated chances is because we still need to keep an eye on that tropical system. Let's actually look at that. I mentioned this earlier. Well, and Jeff, I wonder if also that rain initially just hit the ground and kind of led to runoff too. They did have some heavy rain there in Hillsborough, had a severe thunderstorm warning. Never had any reports of damage, but yeah, tomorrow afternoon would be the stronger storms. Not tomorrow, not tonight. It would be tomorrow afternoon. That's why there's that threat for that marginal threat for severe weather. Okay, hold on. Let's look at. Okay, so there we go. So here's that tropical system. Starts to bring us rain late in the day Friday. I mean, some heavy, steady rain. So again, not necessarily a bad thing. We need it. Of course, that's the Kroger Wellness Festival. I'm sure there's other outdoor activities. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Friday night football games, of course. And then it kind of moves further to the west and then tries to sweep its way back east into Saturday and Sunday. So actually looks like Friday evening might bring us the best chance for rain from that tropical system. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right, cool. Just looking at more stuff on this tropical system because, yeah, I think it could be a good thing for us. All right, let's get out of here. Flood in some parking lots. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't really want really heavy rain when we're in these kinds of drought conditions. We want a steady rain that can soak into the ground. And I'm just not sure that we see anything like that anytime soon. Let's actually look at the rainfall totals. Now, this might take us all the way to next weekend. So yeah, not a lot. This is just one model, but saying that we'll get between about 0.5 and 1.5 inches of rain all the way through next Sunday. So that would include what we get from that tropical system. So it's not a ton, but we'll take whatever we can get at this point. No doubt about that, because the drought is just terrible. And then I wanted to show you beyond the 7-day forecast. This is going to take us into next week. Into October, as a matter of fact. So definitely more fall-like with highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s, a few rain chances for the first part of that 14-day forecast, but then we dry out, and actually it looks pretty pleasant as we look into the first weekend of October. So there's your beyond the 7-day forecast. Okay, let's look at radar again. Because we actually do have some rain on radar, which is fantastic. Just unfortunately doesn't necessarily look like we're going to have much impact from it, but nevertheless. So yeah, so we're going to be tracking these storms again near Evansville here throughout this afternoon and evening. Could have an impact here locally. I don't think we're necessarily going to see those widespread storms. I also wanted to show the convective outlook, our chances for severe storms over the coming days. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I haven't had to use this in so long. It's like buried in my graphics because we just haven't had to talk about storms lately. Here we go. Okay, so this is what, let's see here. Okay, so this is tomorrow. Everybody in a marginal threat for severe storms. So remember that this goes from tomorrow morning through Wednesday morning, but the best chance for us, actually let me read the discussion. The best chance for us is going to be in the afternoon. Yeah, so Storm Prediction Center is mentioning the fact that with the cloudy skies, it's going to limit the possibility for severe storms, but there's still enough ingredients possible present that severe storms will be possible, but it's still only the marginal risk, a level 1 of 5. Basically, we'll just have to watch any of these storms that move into the area tomorrow. They could have enough, energy with them that they could become severe. So, looks like, what is the greatest? Yeah, no threat of tornadoes and only a 5% chance for wind damage, no chance for hail. So we're just looking at the potential for some strong damaging winds tomorrow. And of course, anytime we do have these thunderstorms, we could have some heavier rain too, but it just doesn't look like it's going to be significant. Yeah, so this is tomorrow. And I've noticed even more so lately that a lot of the leaves are just dying and falling off of the trees rather than turning colors before falling off, which is really unfortunate because that also means that we're probably not going to have brilliant fall colors this year. A lot of that because of the drought. The drought just impacts so many different things. It's not just farming. It's not just agriculture or your brown grass. I mean, it just goes so far beyond that. So yeah, we could use some rain. It's not just us too. I mean, the Drought Monitor, if you look at it from a wide view, look at that. I mean, so much of the country in a drought right now. I mean, the Northeast, the New England states probably have fared the best. And then a large portion of North Carolina has been okay. Of course, they just had flooding. So, they've been kind of quite the opposite, too much rain. But especially here in the Ohio Valley, I mean, if you look at these 3 states plus West Virginia, it's probably the worst of anywhere in the country as far as like extending so far. One of my neighbors said that they went to Tennessee last week, I think. And she said that when you go south of Lexington, that's when you started to notice a difference. And we can see that kind of on the map here too, that there are some more lush green. I've seen a lot of folks using a sprinkler too, and I just wonder if it's too late, I mean, I'm not an expert, but it could be. Okay, so could we see another tornado like Mayfield this year? That's a great question. It's really hard to tell. By the way, who is this? Jim, I love your icon. Okay. So with severe weather, it's really hard to predict. So like, for example, hurricane season, they put out those predictions for how strong they think the hurricane season is going to be way in advance of hurricane season. I think it's like they put out in the spring, hurricane season begins in June, so they give a lot of advance notice. But because hurricanes are easier to predict because we can look at the warm ocean waters, we can look at the different kind of like if it's La Nina, El Nino, we can look at kind of what's going on with the ocean, not just the ocean, but all of the different winds associated with like the area where the hurricanes will form. And it's kind of on a broader scale, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. With tornadoes, it's a much smaller scale. So it's a lot harder to predict tornadoes, especially far out in the future. I mean, I would say tornado prediction is probably only good a week out at most. So it's hard to tell if, in December we could have a really active period where we do have tornadoes. That's really difficult to do because it is on such a smaller scale. So basically, I can't really answer your question. It's always possible. Some of the worst tornadoes that I've ever covered or that I've read about have been in like off season. For example, the Mayfield tornado was in December. I had a horrible tornado in Southern Illinois that was in February. It was actually on Leap Day. So, and I had a really horrible tornado when I lived in Illinois in November. So, you can get it any time. That's for sure. Okay, so I know I say this a lot, but we have some weird schedules today, simply because we are the flagship station for the Bengals. Steve Horsemeyer will be down there doing weather for them that you'll be able to see on the Jumbotron if you're going to the game. So since he's doing that in the evening, I will be doing the 5 and 6 p.m. Catherine will be on at 3 and 4. So we'll have you covered on your afternoon newscast. And then Steve will do his normal streaming show at 7:15. So you can catch up with him then. He'll have more on the drought and, of course, any kind of storm chances headed our way. And he'll be on at 10 and 11, of course, as well. So I will see you later on this evening. I think that's all I have for you for now. I'm going to go prepare for those shows and update this forecast too, especially with that tropical system. I need to get a better idea of how that's going to impact us. So that's all that I have for you now. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope that you have a great day. And if you're going to the game, stay safe, stay dry, and enjoy.